Hi, Rose here. It's been a while since I made one of these videos, and I'm going to start again, I think. At least today I'm going to do this. This one is inspired by Asha Frost, one of my newest friends. She has the group, the Sacred Medicine Circle, and if you're interested in these conversations about colonialism, and decolonizing ourselves, then I suggest you head over there. And she's got some great work. She's one of our indigenous sisters and relatives. And so her question today was, do you have an inner colonizer? And she was talking about her experience with finding it challenging to rest and to I wanted to share it. She asked the question, so I'm going to share my experience with that and kind of settle into this. My journey. I was a nurse for 23 years, running a household, and like working my butt off, and very programmed by the fundamental Baptist work ethic of you got to work hard, earn money, be a success. Have had a lot of inner critic and colonizer. I just kind of, that hit home today. That's my inner colonizer. And the journey of stepping out of that began in really began in 2013 when through learning about the truth of Western medicine, and after a near-death experience, I turned in my nursing license, and the first time I remember, I was at home. I had turned in my nursing license, and I had gotten this job, and it was really weird. I showed up, picked up the computer, went home, and it was like 3 weeks before they dumped any work on me. And I got to witness how I just had, like, I didn't feel okay with not working. And especially since they were paying me, right? Like, I don't know, I made like an amazing amount of money in a short period of time. That was the first spirit lesson. And then on this journey I've been on, I wound up homeless, and I began traveling and rubber tramping and not really having a destination or a date or anything. And boy, did I deal with those internals of you're supposed to be doing something. And so and one of the things I did was I picked up a great deal of trash. So I guess that was the process of decolonizing myself and connecting with Mama. And so I would pick up a lot of trash. That's what I did with that nervous energy. And I would clean. When I would wind up somewhere, I would clean people's houses. And there I had to learn not to overdo. Like, I would go into their houses and right off the bat start cleaning. And for some people, that's like, it's very disrespectful. And it makes them feel like you think they're dirty. So learning how to settle into that, and that was because of my inner colonizer, that a house has to look a certain way, it has to be a certain way, and so I would overdo. Backing off of that one has been very challenging. As far as relaxing, the story that just really came to my mind, this has to do with Hawaii. Um, I wound up in Maui, and it was quite an adventure getting there. I had landed in uh, Honolulu with 75 US dollars, and Sharon MacArthur donated a ticket for me to get to Maui, and I had one night's hosting. And so I stayed with what was her name? I'll add it in the comments if I remember. But I stayed one night with one sister, and then I had another place to stay down the Hana Highway the next day. And I went on the road, mile marker 11, and thumb out to get down the Hana Highway, which I really had no idea where I was going. I just knew it was, everybody kept like, ooh, down the Hana Highway, it's beautiful, but wow, it's in the middle of nowhere. So thumb out, I'm standing on the side of the road, and that inner critic starts telling me that I should be walking, I should be moving, I look like a homeless person, like I look stupid. Oh boy, were the voices on me like crazy, and all the tourists going by, and the looks, and the yells outs, and all of that, and I'm standing there, and I start walking, and I'm not much of a walker. I've very much had to rehab a body from a great deal of stuff, and so, and at the time I was not in the greatest shape, and so, but I start walking, and I walk for probably about a mile and a half. The It's misting rain, and finally. I stop, and somebody, a car goes by first, and the bumper sticker says relax. And I'm frustrated with spirit, of course, kind of, complaining in my head. I'm being a critic now, and insisting upon my way, and kind of throwing a little hissy fit. I was very much going into my child. And that inner critic is talking like crazy. And so the bumper sticker goes by, relax. So I drop into that a little bit, and soon a sister comes by and picks me up, and the first thing she says when I get in the car is, relax. And so I did a reading for her, got a little bit of money. Things are starting to look up. She drops me off at Twin Falls, and I'm there on a water mission. So I go into the water, but that I didn't get in. I did my singing with the waters, and I cried with the waters, and I got my center back, and I go back out on the road, and that inner colonizer starts again. And I'm feeling really like I need to be doing something, and looking like I'm trying to help myself. And so I keep walking. I start walking, and I get to this sign that says 20 miles, like this. And I stopped, and I found on the way, just right then, I had found a sword and a hilt separately, and I put them together, and I put them in my backpack, and my sword, my fight, right? And I'm contemplating on that, and I made a love bomb, and I picked up some trash and put it at least in a pile, and used it to spell out love. I couldn't carry much with me, but I was gathering it up, and connecting with the land and the spirits around, and listening. But that inner critic got louder and louder and louder, and I'm seeing these people go by, and they're looking at me, and I'm taking on every bit of their judgments. And so I pick up my backpack, and I start walking, realizing that I may need to walk 20 miles, and there's no shoulder very much. And I'm walking along, and I fell and busted my ass, and I crawled over to where I could get over to the side of the road, and I'm bawling my eyes out and asking Mama why I don't like what. And I'm like, look, like, I'm gonna get off of this island as fast as I can if like something doesn't like change. And this car goes by with a bumper sticker that says relax, and all of a sudden I could hear her. not the inner colonizer. I could hear the Ina saying to Mama and saying, like, I told you to relax. I told you. And now somebody's going to have to risk their freaking lives to be able to pull over and pick you up. But the same damn car that I was sending for you way back then is going to pick you up. And all of this was your own created drama because of the inner colonizer. And you don't have to listen to that anymore. You can listen to me. And I sat there, and a car came by, a beautiful brother. I'll see if I can find him. I don't off the top of my head remember his name, and that's no, like, I love him, but names and places, nothing, it doesn't stick very much until somebody asks me these stories. I don't live in that of attachment anymore. And so that's nothing personal or discounting of his contribution. So he picks me up, and I make it down the Hana Highway, and so many beautiful things happened after that, and there's been so many lessons of relaxing, but I haven't forgotten that one, and it's been this touchstone for me. And the next day, I did take a journey of relaxation. And ever since, there's been like a backup plan, always there, like a sense of security and trust. And I wound up at a Mary grotto. It was a carved naturally hole occurring in the lava there, and there was a statue of Mary, and I've been a Mary devotee, and not in a Catholic way, not in a religious way, but she was in there, and I spent time with her, and I left my sword and my hilt in my fight with her, and trust and my doubts and my fears and my insecurities in her hands. I'm kind of realizing that as I'm talking, and so I really, really appreciate Asha and this opportunity to share my and interweave with her. And you know, this last time I got to go, I went through Hawaii that way. I came back to the Turtle, you know, getting to walk this in a different way, and then back to Aotearoa, and then back to Maui this year, and going at it entirely different. But still, there was a piece of me inside of there and it's on the left hand side. It's that shakes, and this right hand side, this harsh masculine, and for me, that's my dad. I mean, he's screamed at me in the past before, I'm the one that was prepared to guide you, and I'm the one that's a success. And the truth is that I don't see success in that life, in that, and it killed me. It killed that she's the one that wanted to do that, or thought that there was any way to fucking succeed, like, died. And now, this last time, right before I left Big Island, Donna Fisher and beautiful Santi Daimi came to me, and I was able to experience a healing that took away that that voice, and it's in the form of tobacco. And so that went, and for probably 2 months, well, for that week that I was there, there was absolute solidity and quietness from that voice and freedom from it. And then I came back here to Houston, and Houston is the place of my most wounding, and where I lived that life, and was a success at it to some degree, but a great deal of, my death occurred here, as that other person. And coming back, my daughter smokes, and it I picked it up again consciously to with that in me still. I'm able to not listen to that voice and decolonize myself and my family. And that's a process. But I need to be able to hear the voice so I can counteract it now. But I do have that solidity inside that I know that that's not me. It's not me. And it's not you either. Anybody listening to this video. And we can decolonize ourselves and get rid of that inner critic and all of that anxiety inside and all of that. And then and adjust environments, because a great deal of that has to do with environments. And it's not anybody's fault, really. It just is. And it's something for us to deal with, I guess, is how I'm looking at it these days, and taking away that shame, because that's that inner critic, and throwing it off on somebody else like they probably already got it in their head. So that's all I'm gonna go into today. It's like 16 minutes. A little long, but and I never know what comes out when I start talking. And I'm not gonna let my inner critic start criticizing what it might look like or what it might sound like or anything else, and I'm just going to post it. So I love you. Peace. Love. Aloha. Aroha. Kia ora.